The movie begins with Daniel working on his model train exhibit and a miniature community in his home. He talks about how the enthusiast gets to create their own world. At a party, Allison sings at a piano, and her fiancé, Nathan, makes a speech about how he's excited to marry her. In their bedroom, Allison talks about how she uses flirtation to sell prescriptions to doctors as a Purdue sales rep. They end up with cuddles and kisses. In the next scene, Allison is on the New Jersey Turnpike, driving her future sister-in-law and her husband to look at wedding dresses with her. The two brag about how well their daughter Ryan is doing in school and how she might get a scholarship to Stanford because of her prowess as a soccer player. One lane is closed for construction, causing a traffic jam. They talk about how Nathan doesn't talk to his dad anymore. Allison uses her phone to see what's available for tickets and ends up crashing. Daniel drops his 16-year-old granddaughter Ryan off at school. He gets a phone call from his son Nathan. He learns that Ryan's parents have been killed in the car accident. Allison is bruised in the hospital, drugged up, as her mom Diane tries to comfort her. Nathan is stunned, not wanting to let her know about the bad news he already knows. A police officer arrives, needing a blood sample from Allison as requested by the law. Due to this, she gets to know about the killing of her future in-laws in that accident. 1 year later, we see Allison follow a video tutorial to cut her hair short. She is now living with her mother, and she is desperate to get her prescription for medication refilled. Diane points out that she's not in physical pain anymore, and none of the doctors are going to give her prescriptions anymore. Allison tells her mom that she uses Xanax and drinks wine, so she wants her own pills. When told there are no pills, Allison rushes to the bathroom and grabs a remaining bottle of Oxy. The two wrestle over it, and Diane flushes the pills down the toilet. Allison tells her she hates her and leaves the house. No longer feeling comfortable behind the wheel of a car, Allison rides her bike to the pharmacy. Meanwhile, on the soccer field, Ryan is taunted by a rival soccer player who is jealous of a boy. When the rival mentions her mom dying, Ryan gets angry and they fight each other. Daniel goes for her and he takes her home. She is revealed to have anger issues while Daniel tries to calm her down. At the pharmacy, Allison tries to get OxyContin and is told she's out of refills, so she's probably trying to be weaned off of them. Allison is rude and aggressive about getting a refill, but is given a pamphlet about opioid addiction. She shoplifts some hair clips on the way out, then rides her bike home. Allison looks for hidden pills in the bathroom and finds photos of her with Nathan, back when they were together. She drinks some medicine instead and has flashbacks to the car accident. The next day, Allison rides her bike to a lunch meeting in a fancy restaurant with someone she knew from her days as a sales rep at Purdue. Allison asks her to help her with a prescription. The woman tells her she can't do that, but she could just ask a drug dealer. Allison then tries to blackmail her, saying she'll reveal what happened at her bachelorette party. This gets her upset, and she leaves without helping her. Daniel is called to Ryan's high school. They talked about her attitude and warned to expel her if she doesn't change. Allison goes to a bar and orders a tequila. She sees two guys whom she used to go to the same high school with. They had small talk, especially about how she used to be engaged to Nathan, who was a running back in those days. They also mentioned how Allison used to be a bitch to them because she was popular in high school. She then asked one of the guys, Mark, to get her some Oxy. She also asked them to help her with money and also pay for her drink. Mark promises to help her get whatever she wants as long as she admits she is a junkie, and she finally admits. They take her to the back of the building and smoke with her. She goes home sick, and her mom reveals she was worried after she had been missing for so long. Diane has managed to scrounge up some OxyContin from friends and gives it to Allison. They talk about how her father is an awful person after abandoning Allison. Daniel goes home, goes into Ryan's bedroom and finds her having sex with an older boy. He loses his temper and scares the boy out of the house after warning him. Daniel grounds her and takes her phone away. He goes to the locked-up liquor cabinet and pulls out a bottle of whiskey, opens it, but doesn't drink. Allison rides her bike to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and is surprised to see Daniel there. She tries to leave, but Daniel convinces her to stay. He tells her he's been sober for 10 years, but he needs more support lately. She asks if the accident is why he's feeling a need to drink again, and he finally admits yes. She again says she'll go to another meeting somewhere else, but he says she found her way to this one and convinces her to join. Allison wants to go to an inpatient facility, but they can't afford it. Diane says Allison needs to get a job, but Allison believes no one will give her a job in this state. Nathan meets Daniel in the park, even though they don't talk much anymore. Nathan talks about how his sister and he were terrified of him. He always made them afraid. Before he leaves, Daniel admits he saw Allison at an AA meeting, and Nathan points out that Daniel blaming her for the loss of his daughter is why she's probably suffering. At the train station, Nathan watches a video of him and Allison back when they were engaged. At an AA meeting, Daniel talks about his struggle with alcohol addiction. His father was a drunk, and he used to physically assault him, which he promised never to do to his kids. But as he became a drunk, he would beat his kids so badly that they'd have to be taken to the hospital. This causes Nathan to become deaf after losing his right ear. Allison and he go out to eat afterward. She tells Daniel that he wasn't drunk or high when she had the car accident. It is revealed that Nathan told Allison that he was born deaf so that Daniel would be vilified. At home, Daniel talks to Ryan about how he's having trouble raising her. He asks her if she uses protection during sex. She admits she is only talking to him because she wants her phone back. He suggests she get on birth control pills. Allison talks to another AA member in the park as they talk about how she used to be a competitive swimmer until her father started a new family in Ohio. Allison mentions that the only thing he left behind was his Rolex. The woman mentions that she'll be Allison's sponsor if she finally talks during a meeting, so Allison does. She talks about how she got addicted to pills after being in a bad car accident where 2 people died, including her future sister-in-law, and she's used to the prescription of pain medication to escape from her pain, and now without the drugs, she wants to die. Daniel takes Allison to his home to show off the model train town. He mentions that the town is inspired by South Orange, the New Jersey town he grew up in. The miniature soldier is him, the day he got home from Vietnam. Other figurines are his father, who came down to the station to pick him up. When she emerges from the basement, Allison runs into Ryan, who got home from school early that day. When Ryan realizes it's the woman who killed her mom, she screams at Allison to get out of their house. Allison apologizes and says she wishes it were her, but before she can leave, Daniel invites her to dinner. Over dinner, Allison asks if she's an alcoholic since she met Daniel at AA meetings. Allison explains she's been addicted to prescription painkillers. Ryan says kids at her school snorted and asks Allison why she dumped her Uncle Nate. Allison says she was upset, and so she ran. Daniel points out that she quit soccer, and Allison asks about that. Ryan says she hates all the girls on the team. Allison says her parents used to boast about how great a soccer player she was and how she was going to get a scholarship. Daniel points out that she quit the team. Ryan says she used to have a 4.0 and could get it back in a second if she cared, but she no longer does after losing her mom. Allison decides to go, but gives her phone number first. The next day, Ryan invites Allison to coffee so she can learn more about the accident that killed her mom. The two begin a friendly relationship where they chat over text. Allison convinces her to go back to the soccer team and she'll go see her play. Ryan agrees. Allison attends the game and watches Ryan score a goal. At home, Allison is having withdrawals at night. She receives a message from Ryan asking her for a meeting the next day. When she finally meets Ryan for coffee, Ryan asks Allison if she was using her phone. She also says that she thinks Allison should have stayed with her Uncle Nate and lets her know that he has a new dog and also a new girlfriend. Allison is upset and crying, but says she wants Nate to be happy. She stands up to leave and walks by Daniel, who is watching on from another table. Allison goes into the bathroom and looks Nathan up on Instagram to see his new life. On her way out, Allison tells Daniel she's leaving because she's sick with withdrawals. Allison goes home, crushes up OxyContin, snorts it, and fades. Diane tries to talk to her about starting a business on Etsy. Allison instead messages Ryan, who invites Allison to see a musical show in New York, where a hot guy she likes will be. Allison thinks Daniel wouldn't want them going out, but Ryan points out she's going either way, so if Ryan doesn't go, she'll be unsupervised. Allison is upset at herself for not staying sober and tells herself, "I hate you so much," in the mirror. She goes in the bathroom and downs the bottle of pills, thinks of her past life with Nathan, and then spits it all out. At the train station, Allison arrives to escort Ryan. Daniel stops by the house and talks to Diane. Ryan is missing, and he wonders if she's with Allison, who is also missing. Diane thanks him for being so nice to Allison. Ryan and Allison go to see the band. The hot guy she mentioned is actually the older boy she had sex with earlier. Allison is listening to the music when Ryan suddenly surprises her with both Nathan and his new girlfriend. Upset, Allison goes to the bar. Ryan admits she wanted to get Nathan and Allison back together, and she didn't expect his new girlfriend to come along. Allison orders some tequila at the bar, accusing Ryan of doing that on purpose when she checks in. Ryan's boyfriend invites Allison and Ryan to a party in Williamsburg, and Allison agrees. Daniel calls Allison's sponsor to try to figure out where Ryan and Allison are. It suggested he used Find My Phone to track down Ryan, which he's never heard of. At the party, everyone is drinking and doing drugs. Ryan is kissing her boyfriend in a bedroom, sick from being drunk and not hearing her text ring. Daniel finds out where she's located and shows up at the party. He goes to the room where Ryan and the boy are to find them in bed. He points a gun at the boy and threatens to shoot him. Nathan then comes in and tries to talk him out of shooting the boy. Daniel says he has nothing left to lose, but Nathan points out he still has him and Ryan. Daniel finally lowers the gun, and Nate punches the boyfriend instead. Outside, Daniel asks Allison why she's there. She says she was trying to protect Ryan and fix things. Daniel tells her she will never be able to fix the things she's done. He admits that he wanted to hate her, and when she walked into the meeting, he felt it was God testing him. And now she won't stay away from his granddaughter, who has no mother or father. He calls Allison a fucking waste of a soul. Before he leaves, he admits that he knows, based on phone records, that she was looking at her phone when the accident occurred, thus making her to be blamed for the deaths of his daughter and her husband. Allison has a panic attack. Allison wakes up in her sponsor's home. She goes to a pawn shop and gives her dad's Rolex for money. She then uses that money to check into a rehab facility. While there, she attends meetings, is given regulated pills, starts singing again, and starts swimming again. Meanwhile, Ryan continues to play soccer as she had started to do recently. Ryan and Daniel's relationship is repaired as she becomes a happier version of herself again. Now better, Allison is receptive to Nathan when he comes to visit her. Allison admits she didn't know how to handle her own grief, and she abandoning him and was selfish. But she didn't want to hurt him again, and it was her fault because she was looking at her phone. She gives him an apology she never could before. She also tells Nathan that she loved him so much, and she will always grieve for the life they might have had. Allison finishes her time at rehab, 1 year clear, a better version of herself. She then gets a job working at a restaurant and singing at a piano. She gets a call learning Daniel has died. She organizes the reception after his funeral and stops by his miniature train town. There is an envelope with her name on it by a figurine of a girl on a bicycle. The letter is Daniel telling Allison that in the miniature version of a city, everything is always positive and without problems. But real life isn't as neat and tidy. Nathan is going to move home and be Ryan's guardian until she goes off to college. He suggests Allison help out because Nathan was always the best version of himself when he was with her. Ryan finds Allison in the basement and invites her upstairs. They comfort each other on the front porch.